Hello, fire goddesses. Welcome to episode 60. In today's episode, I have a really wonderful guest, Yulia Gladysheva. Yulia is a photographer who basically pivoted her business to help entrepreneurs capture the most influential photographs on the go by using their phone. It really is quite extraordinary, and I can honestly say, as a client of Yulia's, I have learned so much from her about how to not only take incredible photographs just using my phone, but also because Yulia has studied persuasion and influence and sales psychology extensively, she has that added skill level that most photographers, I haven't met a single photographer that has this skill level where she's able to incorporate using sales psychology and persuasion and influence and wrap it into a photograph so that you are basically selling more, selling better by creating these amazing photographs. And I'm really, really excited to present Yulia to you because honestly, I don't know anybody else that's doing this work. And I feel like I said this in the episode actually, like this work is the work that most people don't realize they need. We live in especially if you're an entrepreneur, we're under the assumption that in order to take pictures, there's two options. You either take your own pictures, which is usually selfies, or you hire a photographer and get a photo shoot. And there's nothing wrong with either one of these things, but what many of Yulia's clients have come to realize, as you will soon discover, is that being able to do it yourself with the use of your phone and maybe your kids, your spouse, your partner, your tripod. In my case, I do most of my photographs on my own, and I can go off and take all the pictures that I want. So without further ado, I really look forward to this interview and sharing Yulia with you. And I hope that you will leave this conversation knowing just a little bit more about how powerful you can truly be in your business. All right, goddesses, stay tuned. Hello, fire goddesses. Welcome to the Reclaim Your Fire podcast. My name is Angela Noel, and I am a prosperity coach for the newly awakened or awake curious, driven overachiever, and overdoer. After running a successful acupuncture practice in Boston for 12 years, I decided to hang my hat by closing the practice and pursue what it is that I'm really meant to do in this world, and that is to serve humanity online on a global scale. Using my background in Chinese medicine, along with the brain science of habits, spirituality, and divine masculine and feminine energy balance, I am here to help you not just understand, but know how powerful you are and that you are the person who is responsible for having the finances, inner peace, radiant health, and energy, aka the fire, in your life that you've always desired. My intention with this podcast is to serve humanity, no matter what gender you identify as, to help bring out the divine feminine goddess in each and every one of you. As you probably are already aware, the world is changing and is begging for the goddess to come out in each and every one of you. So, fire goddesses, stay tuned. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Reclaim Your Fire podcast. I am very excited because I have another amazing guest today, Yulia Gladysheva. Hi, Yulia.
Hi, Angela.
How are you? Welcome. I'm so excited to see you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm excited to see you too. I'm doing great. You?
I'm doing really well. I'm looking forward to having this conversation with you. Happy summer solstice, by the way. We're recording this on the day of the solstice, which I feel is very I don't know, it feels very relevant. So it's good to see you.
Thank you.
So Yulia, I would love if you could just tell the goddesses out there who you are and how you help people.
Okay, so I am a photographer in my past, I would say, because right now what I'm doing, I help people to take pictures by themselves. So I help business owners, entrepreneurs to get the images for their business just on the go, just with their phone by themselves. It helps them to save a lot of time, and also it helps them to create compelling images for their business that actually help them grow organically and effortlessly sell their services and products.
That is so cool. And I just have to say, disclaimer here, I am also a client of Yulia, and she's also my friend, and I have worked with her personally. And if you hop onto my Instagram, if you've been on my social media in the last 4 or 5 months, you may notice that my pictures have changed. And I've had people come up to me and say, "Who's your photographer?" Or, "What are you doing? Are you getting photo shoots all the time now?" And I just tell them, no, like this is all done with my phone. I do all my own editing, and it's all under, well, when we were working together, the guidance of Yulia, who taught me how to capture a really good quality professional looking photograph. And the beauty of it all, like you said, Yulia, is that it's on the go with a mobile device, with your phone. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah, it saves a lot of time, and actually it makes life of entrepreneurs pretty easy because it's just on the go. So I help them integrate this process in their daily life.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. And I just feel that a lot of people don't realize how powerful this is to be able to take your own pictures. Because if you are an entrepreneur, I know I've had several photo shoots in my day, and it's kind of uncomfortable, isn't it? Unless I feel like you really know you have a deep connection with the photographer, or you're really comfortable on camera. And I find that a lot of people are a little shy about that. So, how powerful it is to create something for people where they learn how to do it themselves. And it's like professional grade. I mean, they look amazing, the pictures that your clients take, Yulia.
Yeah, thank you so much. They inspire me to continue it. And actually, at some point, I was feel uncomfortable to announce, to give even the idea to entrepreneurs that they can do it by themselves just with their phone, because it feels for me unprofessional. I'm a photographer, but the point is I do my pictures just with my phone, and my kids do it for me for a long time, but still I didn't feel like I can give this tool to entrepreneurs. So it feels like they want to have professional pictures. So that's why I need to offer them professional pictures with a professional camera. Even I thought it doesn't make sense, because when they see this huge camera, they already feel uncomfortable. Even when it was time when I took pictures of weddings, I thought I really want to take pictures of a wedding just with my phone. I will deliver them way more beautiful pictures. But again, it just like doesn't look professional, right? So how come I have two cameras with me? So like everyone other.
That's so interesting too, is, the perception. That's what I'm hearing, is people have this perception that in order to have professional looking photographs, that you need to have all the equipment, right? Like, that's just another example of how people perceive things. Like, in order to be successful, for example, you need to have advanced degrees. And, as people are starting to realize, what an amazing time to exist, that you can be successful and you can decide for yourself how you're going to be successful. And maybe you don't need that advanced degree or that fancy camera and photographer to take your business photos. So I'm just curious. I mean, in your opinion, and this is kind of a technical-ish question, how do you feel about camera phones right now as they relate to or in comparison to, like, a big hunking camera? I mean, as far as the quality of pictures that they take.
So most common question that I have from people is what kind of camera I need to buy. And I always say the same. You do not need camera. You have your phone. All the phones have like amazing cameras right now. The only problem maybe you have is your lens is dirty. That's why you think your pictures are not very crispy and professional. But if you just use your the bottom of your t-shirt and clean your lens, you will get this crispness and high quality pictures. I really so just to keep it in mind, and I always remind it to my clients, and yeah, it helps with images.
Simple thing, right? And I know my husband, he wears glasses and he's always cleaning his lenses because he's like, if they're not clean, even if there's like the slightest fingerprint on the glasses, then he can't see. And I'm guessing that's the same thing as a phone, just a little swipe. I forget to do that sometimes. Thank you for the reminder. Just swipe it off really quick and it makes a huge difference, even if there's a speck of dust. And I remember you saying, because I was going to go out and buy like the iPhone 12 Max Pro, and you're like, Angela, you don't need that. Buy the cheapest iPhone, right? Like, you don't need, unless you want that, of course, but that's not necessary, is it, to have the best?
Yeah, specifically for pictures, you do not need to do it. When I changed my last phone, only because I needed to give my old phone to my daughter. She went to high school. So I went to the store, and the first thing I asked is, what the oldest phone do you have? I need iPhone. So I felt this way, but I needed the oldest version because it doesn't make sense for me to pay a huge amount of money because the camera is absolutely the same. They have more features, but you do not need it. The simpler this, the better. You need simplicity. When it's too hard, people stop doing it. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm always about to make it simple on the go. Only when the light is great. So we do not want to make it hard.
Yeah, and to your point about simplicity, I do, I can completely relate. And I know that, just with working and coaching with people, they want things to be easy and streamlined, especially if you're a mom or a busy entrepreneur. It needs to be easy in order to do it. So I'm just curious to know, when you work with people, what is their biggest concern, or how can I say this? What are they often concerned about simplicity and like doing all the things, and how do you help them kind of move through that with just to ease their mind so that they know that it's really easy and simple. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, when I talk with people, they think, of course, they expect that it's going to be hard because they approach photography only like a professional photography. So it's about lighting, it's about a lot of different buttons to edit. But what I say them always is, give me 5 minutes a day and I will show you how simple it is. So just give me the opportunity to show it. I know that it's hard, but I have a different way. You just do not know about it. So we usually work as a team, and I always remind my clients, you are my hands, right? So I need images from you, and I will do the rest for you, and will show you how it's easy to get the right images and make them great.
And if you go on to Yulia's Instagram, what is it, your handle, Yulia? I'll put it in the show notes. You'll notice how amazing her photographs are. And everything is done with your phone nowadays. So
Thank you. Sorry.
So, as far as working with people, one topic that comes to mind often is the idea of being authentically powerful, being a fiery goddess, as I like to call my listeners here on the podcast. And I'm just curious, in working with people, what is some of the feedback that you get around, once they get used to the habit of taking their own photographs? And I want to go into, there's probably people wondering out there, like, how can you do that? So I do want to talk about that logistic too. But as far as stepping into your own power and being powerful and taking aligned action, how do your clients, if you could just paint a picture of before and after working with them, do you notice any shifts in their personal power or how they feel about themselves, how they feel about their confidence and self-esteem? Do you notice any shifts that way?
Yeah, absolutely. Because mostly I work with women. And the first question for them, it's like, I never like myself in the pictures. This is my problem. This is why I actually, for example, I'm not sure if I want to join your program because I just do not like myself in the pictures. And I totally understand why you don't like yourself in the pictures, because most of the time we are posing. It doesn't matter if it's a photographer or if your friends take your pictures. It's just in our probably culture, we are always posing. And when we are posing, we feel uncomfortable first because, for example, models, they learn how to pose. So it's actually a hard job. And if you don't know how to do it, of course, your body language is awkward, your emotions are awkward. And I also do not like such pictures of myself because it just everything is awkward. So my approach is absolutely different. And this is what I'm telling my future clients, that because we are taking pictures of activities on the go of something that is happening right now in your life, you feel comfortable because you are in your real environment. That's why your body language looks natural. Your emotions are natural. You feel absolutely comfortable and you like such pictures. So I actually see that my clients start looking at themselves differently because they finally see the opportunity. They finally have the opportunity to see themselves as a mother, as a business owner, as a dog owner, as a daughter, as a wife, right? Because finally I brought environment into the images and the activity, and they showed them who they are actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it made a huge shift in them. So I help them to change this belief about, for example, I'm not pretty, or my house is not pretty, or something else, because it's all about how to show it. It's all about how you feel in this image. It's not about just having picture of you with the kids. It's about how you feel with your kids. Mm-hmm. It's about how kids feel with you in this image. So, and it's change everything in the image and in the perception of yourself in the image.
Yeah, yeah. You said a lot of powerful things there, Yulia, and I've been taking notes. So, what's really different about your work is what I'm hearing you say is that you have you're a professional photographer and your clients are your hands, right? So under your guidance, you are helping them take pictures that really depict real life. And, you know, if you look at Yulia's Instagram, and I know that you highlight a lot of your clients and what they've taken too, is you'll notice that the pictures are one of the bonuses to working with you is that Yulia will pick your set of filters, and they're often aligned with your brand, aligned with your brand colors. I love my filters. I love my filters. So they look really beautiful, really professional, and also they look real, right? Because like you said, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, I don't like my picture taken, my house is a mess. And when in actuality, maybe you have the opportunity to really show the world who you truly are, right? I mean, I know in my pictures, I know one time I think my house was kind of messy, right? So I had to clean a little up just so that the picture didn't look like a hoarder lived there. But for the most part, when I take pictures in my house, it's there's you know there might be some books laying around. You might see my water bottle. You know, it's real, and I think that people are starting to you know, in the audience, feel that everything being perfect is not that great, is it? Like, they want to know who this person is. If they're going to hire a coach or hire a professional to help them, they want to know who you truly are and not who you are according to some polished, perfect photograph.
Yeah, I think it's very important to bring real life into images, not just pretty background. And actually, that was the reason I stopped doing branding photography, because it just what most of brand photographers do, they invite their clients into pretty locations. Sometimes even people rent Airbnb and take pictures there. But my point is, I want just to tell a little story. So well, my kids love Taylor Swift, but for me it was just one pretty girl, because what I saw about her before, sometimes from, I don't know, Instagram or somewhere else, just pretty pictures, just polished pretty pictures of her. So for me it was, well, just one more pretty girl. So, but I watched a documentary movie about her, and it changed everything. Like in a matter of 1 hour, I looked at her and I was like, wow, this girl is very powerful. She does a lot of things. I had no idea about it, just because she showed her process, how she walks, and she showed how she lives. So it's like a real human being. She's the same like me, right? She's the same like other people. She has maybe some problems as we do, but finally, through the documentary movie, we start seeing her as a real person, with her cat, cooking her dinner. You know, I finally started identifying myself with her at some point, and this is what built connection with her. And this is my approach the same. My background is the documentary photography. I never liked posing. So when we bring the real life into images, we help people to connect with us. We give them some points of connection so they can identify with us. And that's why it's important to bring real environment, even if you think it looks messy and everything is cluttering or cluttered. What
Yeah.
is that, right? So it's just a matter of how to show it, and I teach how to do it easily, and it looks great, and it's your real environment, so people can connect with you.
Yeah, I love what you said about you know, and then the authenticity, and really just that analogy to documentaries. Um, I think it's a win. In my interpretation, it's a win-win. It's a win for the person, and it's a win for the clients or the clients to be. It's in that they can really see who this person truly is, because a lot of people are no longer interested in, the sugar coating because there's so much on social media, right? I mean, so much sugar coating. And to actually, I believe, and I know that when I started to show up this way in my images on my social media, I got a totally different response. People were like, wow, like I really love that image that you posted on Instagram. It was really real, or I really had a feeling for who you are. And it's just, and I don't know, I mean, how did you get the idea of doing this, Yulia? I feel like there aren't really I don't know of anybody else doing anything like this. Am I right?
Yeah, I do not know anyone too, so I feel pretty comfortable again right now that I do not have. So I feel like I'm alone. So how I started it is actually it happened naturally, and I just wanted to help entrepreneurs to connect with people. And well, I stopped my family and weddings photography just because I didn't see any values in it, because most people just keep the images in the computer. So I didn't feel like I put a lot of energy into it, not just for you to keep it in your computer. I want you to see it, because this is how you can again see yourself as a mother, you can see your family. And so I thought, okay, I need to do something else. That's why my next step was branding photography. That was a trend. Like everyone is about branding photography and pretty pictures. So it's like, okay, I was like, okay, I will try. So again, it just, I cannot do it. I cannot help people to be who they are not. So for me, it's very important to stick with my values. So actually, it didn't work for me, but it helped me to understand why it also doesn't work for my clients. Even I deliver for them great images, they just couldn't use them. They just do not feel that it's about them, because images are pretty, but it's like they are too pretty. It's like they cannot integrate it into their content, and most of the time they are the same, because we have a limited amount of time, so you cannot just bring your whole experience into 1 to 3 hours of photo shoot, right? So it's so that's why even I deliver 30, 60, 100 images. People use mostly like 10 of them. They totally understood why. So I was like, okay, it doesn't work. They need something different. I just couldn't understand why. And at some point, I started learning sales psychology. And I was like, okay, this is like a manual for me, what I need to bring into images. And I easily can do it. I just think by pictures. When I read marketing, it's like pictures, pictures, pictures. I know how to translate it into the pictures.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, that was a turning point for me and for my clients.
I mean, I feel like you've hit a gold mine, because you have your expertise, but then you also studied sales psychology, which I don't think a lot of photographers are doing. Or, I mean, from what I understand from talking to you offline, maybe there's a little bit of resistance, right, for photographers to go into this new way of presenting and being a photographer, right? It's basically a new identity as a photographer. Would you say that's correct?
Um, it's mostly a photographer. Yes, it's about identity. They are artists, right? So that's why they resist such approach, because at the beginning I wanted to find a photographer for my clients. So they can utilize my strategy. But the point is, it was so difficult. It was even impossible because photographers just want to keep it as an art. But it doesn't work for entrepreneurs. For entrepreneurs, it should be a marketing tool. It's not about pretty pictures. So again, it was the point when I stopped working with photographers and just, it's like about, I didn't know what to do, but COVID happened.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm in the middle of the photo shoot with my client. So how we will finish it? Well, I knew it was possible to do it just with a phone, but I didn't again feel comfortable to suggest it. I'm a photographer. How I can offer my clients to do it just with their phone? But because of the COVID, yeah, I just what to do. I called my client, and they was like, "Okay, we need to finish this image. Take your son, give him this phone." I already knew her house, so I told her exactly where to go, what to do. We finished this image in a matter of 3 minutes. The image was just perfect.
Amazing. I love that. And so, and I know a lot of people are probably wondering this too. So who specifically is taking these pictures, logistics wise? I know that people have come up to me and said, how are you doing your own photo shoots? So could you let people know what that magic is right there?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. So half of my clients do it with their kids, 7+. It totally works. It's nothing about giving your kids all the tools and teach them how to do it. It's all about having a formula. I give my clients a formula. They know what they need. Their kids just help them to press the button. So, and if there is no kids around, I suggest to use simple, just a tripod with a remote shutter.
Yep.
So it could be your best friend.
Yes.
I use it sometimes too. And again, it's all about having a formula and understanding what kind of image you need. So I do not teach any photography, like it's not a photography course. You do not need it. It's just, I already did it for you. I found just a few tools that you really need and I give them to you. And this is how you can simplify your life and take images easy. Just a few tools. It should be simple.
And I have to say, as a client and a user of your system, it is very, very easy. I don't have children. I often took my own pictures. I invested in a $19 tripod, and I invested in the remote, what do you call it? Shutters, which are really inexpensive on Amazon. And it's the best thing ever. It's so much fun. I have days where, because I'm kind of we talked about this before we started the call, like my style is kind of relaxed, but what's really fun is I'll get outfits for my photo shoots and just have fun with it, right? I'll wear things. And I know you mentioned the idea of it being real and wearing your everyday clothes, which I do that too. But what I have really found to be very empowering is not only to just take my own pictures, but then to just play around with different outfits and different colors, like branding colors, and just playing with that. And I have to say the response has been amazing.
Yeah, and I love that actually this is how it helps you to also reconnect with yourself, right? So this is the opportunity to see you from different perspectives, right? So this is actually a huge values for me too, to help people, especially women, to reconnect with themselves. And actually, this is what I always wanted to do before. I just didn't know how to execute it. So I didn't want to invite people for a photo shoot just to help them to reconnect anyway. During the photo shoot, people feel uncomfortable. So, and again, it happened just naturally because, again, my approach is real documentary photography, right? So it helps people to be authentic in the images. And this is how they start seeing themselves again as a wife, as a mother, as a teacher, or something like this.
That is, I just absolutely love that. And it's so powerful. And you know what I love about everything that you said is that you had this genuine desire to be of service and help people, and how you took your craft and designed something that is really, really making an impact in the life of an entrepreneur. And Yulia, I just want to, first of all, thank you again for being on this episode today and being a guest on Reclaim Your Fire. I do feel that what you do and how you help the world and how you help entrepreneurs is a extremely empowering opportunity to take your own pictures. And I would just love to, before we go, I would love to just explore one thing, and that is the concept of people who may say they don't like pictures of themselves, or they don't love taking pictures of themselves. And I'm wondering if you could speak to that in the context of empowerment, empowering women to really see who they are, to love themselves. Because I know for me personally, I was able to see myself in a different way and look at the pictures and say, wow, I look really pretty. And I feel like that's something that women have not been encouraged to do for a long time. So I would love to hear your thoughts on that and encourage you to speak about that and speak to that in regards to your clients as being kind of not only are they getting these beautiful photographs, and they're getting more reach, right? Because they're really starting to get noticed in a different and new way, but also that act of taking pictures of yourself and seeing yourself in a different way. Do you find that happens a lot with your clients, is that they find that it's very empowering to take their own pictures?
Yes, absolutely. And if you trust me, trust this process, I absolutely will help you to, yes, to reconnect with yourself, to start loving yourself, because you just need the opportunity to see to see yourself different. You just didn't have this opportunity before because simply you just didn't know how to do it. And actually, what I love about it, because some of my clients use their kids' help, that they show their kids actually so that they do not need to be perfect in these images on social media, that it's about being real. So I actually, this is like my deeper purpose. You can say that we can finally stop this social media perfectionism, just showing our kids that it could be different and it still be beautiful, and it helps you connect more with yourself. For example, my kids just do not understand the concept of taking school pictures where you need just to sit on the chair and look at the camera and smile. My kids like, Mom, why I need to smile if I do not want to smile?
Yeah.
So it's right now, for example, I got in a group, Facebook group, and recently I was thinking, it looks like a model agency. It's like all only pretty pictures, their portraits, and it feels like all of them are the same. I just cannot connect with anyone. So, in terms of self love, it helps a lot women. And again, I get testimonials like, thank you, you helped me to connect with myself. And at the beginning, it was like weird for me. I work with women. I help them with business, not to connect with themselves. But because of my background and the way approach it and I do it, for me it's natural, but for them it's not. I gave them the opportunity to see themselves differently. So it really warms my heart. So because I actually have wanted to do it.
It's so beautiful. So beautiful and so powerful, the way that you help people and the way you help women and entrepreneurs and moms with businesses. And I just love, Yulia, how easy it is to work with you and how real you are and how it's clear and obvious to me how you truly love what you're doing. Like I feel like, I mean, I can run something by you, even though we, our course is ended, but if I need help or I can run something by you and say, Yulia, what do you think of this picture? And you truly, it just seems like you really like what you're doing. You really love what you're doing. And I love how empowering it is. So thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you. And for any of you that want to get in touch with Yulia, I will put her contact information in the show notes so that you can find her. And Yulia, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Have a great day.
Thank you so much for listening to the Reclaim Your Fire podcast. If you have found value in this podcast, please share this podcast with those you care about. As you probably already know, in order for the world to change, we need to change. So spread the word by sharing this podcast or by leaving a review in iTunes. Until next time, Fire Goddess, be radiant, be fiery, and be powerfully authentic. Take care.